Hello. Hello.
Miss.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good morning. How are you?
Morning, Miss. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
What happened? Your voice is a bit loud, dull, not well?
No, just a bit tired, Miss.
Cold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Till now I was having cold. Now you got cold.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So last class, what will we be doing?
We were doing the mini project, Miss.
Oh yeah, we made the mini project. So do you have any doubt in that?
No, Miss.
Or clear, right?
Sorry.
Okay. So today, we're going to learn about CSS. Okay. So what is the full form of CSS?
Uh,
Eight.
Not sure, Miss.
Not sure. CSS, cascading style sheet.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay. So let me just open the curriculum. 1 minute.
Okay.
1 minute.
Hello?
Yeah. 1 minute. It is loading.
Oh, okay.
Today is our session number 8. Okay. So before we start, I would like to ask you a few questions based on whatever we have learned. So which tables? So last class we learned about the tables, right? So we have also did some tables. So in the table, what are the tags you have it in the table? Create a-
TD tag, TH
How do you
tag.
create a table, first of all? What is the tag for creating the table?
Table.
Sorry?
TD tag.
Table tag. After that,
Then it's TH tag.
ph, yes. Okay. And then,
And then depending on how many TD and TR.
okay. So how do you enter the data on that?
Then you go into each tag and then you type in the data in each.
No. What is a tag for that?
What do you mean?
To create a table, to enter the data on the thing. On your table, suppose you want to enter a table, right? So data to the table, right?
Yeah.
So then how do you create a table data tag? You need a tag for that, right? For entering the details on the row.
Okay. What is it?
Sorry?
I don't know. What is it?
DD is the tag, right?
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Then, what is the way of adding the background to an HTML?
What background color?
Background color, how do you add?
Go into body, put
Huh?
style background color, then you can add the color.
Okay. Now, next question. Suppose I have told you about the division and span. Right? What is the difference between division and span? What is the division and span?
Not sure, miss.
Division, I told you, suppose if you give a background to a division, so the entire screen will be utilized for using the background, okay, for the color. But span means only how much is the content you have, only so much space will be utilized for that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. So can the data table contain the data of a cell? I mean, a table can contain image also. Can we put image inside the table? Hello.
Yes, miss.
My question is, can we put images on the table?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So shall we start now?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So now, actually, I just formatted my laptop. That's a problem, everything got erased. So I have to download everything. Okay, now let's start. So how do we use the CSS to make the design? So which we already started making the designs, isn't it? So CSS is nothing but cascading style sheet. Okay, we use CSS to control the design such as color of the text, style of the font, spacing between the paragraph, how our columns are sized, and what are the background images. All these things have been done using the CSS. So CSS can be specifically applied on whatever part of the web page you want. It's not like that, you have to apply CSS for entire page or something. It's up to you. How do you want to design your page? Okay, so whenever you make a CSS code, okay, so right now we are doing the CSS code directly into the file, right?
Yeah.
Suppose if you are making, I mean, directly into the HTML file. Suppose you're making a separate file and then you are trying to connect your file. Then how do you do the CSS? So there is a syntax that we need to follow. That is selector. Okay. So selector, after selector, suppose selector is nothing but any of the elements that you have used in your, for example, it could be the image, or it could be the paragraph, or head h1, whatever you're going, that is called as selector. The element is called as a selector. Okay, then you're going to open a flower bracket, and where you're going to put the declaration is nothing but the value. So suppose if it's a color means the font color, colon, the color, then semicolon. That is how we put the format, isn't it? Even suppose font size, you type font size, then you put the colon, then you put, like, suppose you want 20 pixel, you put 20 pixel and close the bracket. That is how it is done, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are so the selector. So here the selector can be different types. Selector in the sense what you're. Okay. Let me just. Okay. Okay, first I'll explain, then I will tell you what is it. Okay. So the selector is nothing but whatever the paragraph or the H1 or whatever the item that you're choosing is called a selector. Declaration is nothing but what are the changes you want in for that particular item. Okay, so that is how we have to make the syntax. That is selector and declaration. Declaration will be inside the flower bracket. Okay. So there are different types of selectors are there. So the first type of the selector is nothing but, I'm telling you again, CSS selector is nothing but it's an element selector. So element can be anything that you are using in the HTML file. As I told you, it can be a paragraph, it can be a body, it can be image, heading, anything. Anything that you're selecting from the HTML is called as a selector. Okay. So based on what kind of selector we are going to use, there are different types of selectors are there. The first one is called as universal selector. So universal selectors means it selects the entire thing that you have done it on the HTML file. Whatever you are doing, done in a HTML frame, from HTML opening bracket to the closing bracket, whatever you have added, like images, paragraph, H1, H2, whatever you have added inside between closing and opening of H1 will be selected if you are using a universal selector. That means entire page will be selected. So how do we use a universal selector? It has been universal selector will be taken as an asterisk. Okay, so let me just share my screen and so that I can show you something.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so what I was telling you is this one. Okay, so how do we, the syntax for CSS will be, first one is a selector and the declaration. Okay, this is the declaration part. So selector is nothing but whatever the item that you're picking up from the code, HTML file. Okay, it could be H1 or anything. So this part is called as selector. Then this is called as declaration. Declaration means whatever you're putting inside the flower bracket is called as declaration. Okay,
Okay.
so declaration will be, each declaration will be separate, it will have a property separated by a column and value, and each property will be separated by a semicolon. Okay, this is a different color, is a different property, this is another property, isn't it? So each property will be different, separated by a semicolon. Understood? So this is a format or a syntax for making the CSS. Okay, when you want to, this is a syntax for declaring a selecting any declaration. Okay,
Okay.
so now depending, so this part is called selector. So there are, that's what I'm telling, there are different types of selectors we have. Okay, so first one we are going to call it as a universal selector. Okay, so universal selector means whatever you are going to select. Okay, let me just see, for example, this is your file. Okay, this is, you start from HTML here, right? Whatever inside the HTML will be taken as a file, right?
Okay.
HTML and closing part of HTML.
Mm.
So for, let's say this is your opening and closing. So whatever there in this is called as a complete HTML, right? This is your HTML. Whatever there inside, this is HTML. So here, when you say universal selector means what happened? This is universal selector is nothing but an asterisk. Okay, this is how we are going to show. So when you use this one, what happened? Whatever the file is contained, that will have the same designs. Whatever you're applying, that will have the entire design on the screen. Okay, it will start selecting everything, whether it's a paragraph or image, whatever you are going to take, everything will be selected. Okay, if you are using the universal selector. For example, here, see, suppose I want the text aligned right and background color yellow. If I give the universal selector like this, the entire screen will be selected. Okay, irrespective of whether you got how many paragraph or how many images, nothing. It will be taking from the HTML, from the starting of HTML, from the till the closing of HTML, whatever is there, everything will be text aligned right and background color will have yellow. Understood? So whenever you want to do a single designing for the entire page, then you can use the universal selector. Okay, is it clear? Hello, are you there?
Yes.
Then why are you not responding?
Sorry, miss, I couldn't hear you.
Then you should speak, right? If you're not able to
Sometimes
speak.
you are cutting out.
Check your speed, please.
Sorry, miss.
Check your net speed. If you are feeling
It is
network.
very fast, miss. Sometimes you are cutting out. I can't hear you.
But I just had a class earlier. I didn't have any problem.
Is it? Oh,
Can you hear me now?
now I can, yes.
Okay, so did you understood what is universal selector?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you do the universal selector, entire page will be selected. Okay, irrespective of whatever you have it, whatever the content you have. Okay, then we have something called ID selector. ID selector means, suppose let's say you have got 3 paragraphs. Okay, so when you give a just simply if you select paragraph and give some design, let's say here if you're giving P. Okay, oh you sorry. Okay, suppose you here if you are writing P, then what happened? All the paragraph will have this color, this design, isn't it?
Yeah.
Suppose let's say you have 3 paragraph in a file, and when you do the design in like P, then what happened? All the paragraph will have a same color. But ID selector means, suppose you want, let's say you have got 3 paragraph. In that one paragraph, you want to make it in a different way. Okay, something different.
Okay.
Or let's say you have, 10 paragraph. In that 5 paragraph, every alternative paragraph, you want something different. something different kind of textile, some background, something different you want from the rest of the paragraph. Then what do we do? If you just do paragraph, it will not understand. The code will not understand, because paragraph is a generalized name. It's like, you have a class of 25 kids in the class. If the ma'am call you, hey boys, all the boys in the class will say yes ma'am, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hello boys. Boys means it's a generalized word. Suppose she want to call a particular kid, then what will do? She will just call that particular kid name, isn't it? ID. So that only that kid can respond. Same way, suppose you have 10 paragraph and you want to give a styling only for a particular paragraph. Then you will give a name for that particular paragraph and then do the designing.
Okay.
Understood? So that is what we call it as ID selector. Okay.
You
So it
give
is
the
a
names.
special character. It's a special thing which you are giving to a special, not special actually. You are making a paragraph special by giving an ID. Okay. Understood? So whenever you are giving an name, you will use this one, hash. Okay. This is for calling. This is for creating. So I'll be showing you this, how to do it that in the screen. Okay.
Okay.
So you will be calling that particular paragraph with a particular ID, so that only that paragraph is going to have some difference. Understood?
Okay.
So you want something to stand out. Clear? Okay. Next is the class selector. Okay. Class selector is something like, you want to have, you want to put a particular paragraph, and you want to put lot of things. Like for example, when you are making a table, okay, so you want to make a different design. Let's say you are making a book, so you have 100 pages in the book, so you can't each time make a design for 100 pages. So what do we do? You make a class for a page design, and you are going to call this class everywhere. Okay, so whenever you want to create a class, you're going to use the dot. It's not called as a dot, it is called as period.
Okay. Yeah.
So the difference between class and the ID is nothing. It's all, both are same. Only thing is, here you are calling it by hashtag. Here you are using the dot or period. Okay, both are almost the same only. There is no much difference. Okay. So understood now. Three types of thing. One is universal selector. Next is ID selector. Third one is class selector. Is it clear?
Yeah.
So now we are going to do the practical of this. Okay.
Okay.
Now let me stop this. Okay. Now again, I'm going to share my this one. Oh, I have not installed this. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Now?
Yes, I can.
But I have not installed this. One minute. And today you are going to make another thing. Okay. So let's go inside. I think I have already made you to add a CSS file, right?
Sorry,
CSS file. I have already made you to create a one CSS file, right?
I think so.
So this is external file style.css. What added? Okay, let's start with creating CSS file. Why it's taking so much time? Okay. Oh no, this is not. Okay, you can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this is types of CSS selector we are going to do today. So let me create a body. Now I'll show you how, okay. Let's say I'm going to make a H1. Now I'm going to do the CSS separately, okay? I'm not going to do anything on this file. I'm going to make the CSS separately and then I'm going to link this, okay? So let's say, let's study about CSS selector. Okay, so this is coming here. Okay, so I made a heading. Let's make a paragraph. Three types selectors. I'm just typing something, okay?
Okay.
Okay, now see, I have not done any designing. So let's go to this one. Okay. Now I'm going to make the designs in the CSS. So here, till now you have learned to make the CSS within this file. Okay, so from now onwards we will not be doing inside. So wherever it's necessary, we will be going outside and create a separate file and link both the files. Okay, now let's make. I have a H1 and a paragraph. Okay, so now I'm going to do it for the H1. I want this to be. I'm going to do the styling for the H1. So how do I do? First of all, the syntax will be selector. My selector is H1. Okay. Understanding?
Okay.
Then I have to open the flower bracket. So in the open the flower bracket, and then what are the declaration I want? So let's say I want to have the font, I want the color. So I will see color, let's say blue. And then I want text align to be center. See, here you will get everything very easily, okay? Because you are already in the CSS. Then let's say font family, let's say I want, okay, something. Then I also want a background color. Let's say some light color. Okay. Now see, I have created the files. So now let's go to the HTML. So suppose if I say open with live server.
Yes.
Oh, shoot.
Hello. Are you there?
Yes, can you see?
Service?
Can you see my screen?
Hello.
Hello?
Are you there? I can't hear you. Hello.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
What is the problem? There is some microphone issue, I believe. Okay.
Who's?
Are you able to hear me now?
No, I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. There is no problem with me. Okay, now
Okay.
again, I'm going to share this. Look at this. See now, look at this. I have given a lot of designs. Anything happened over here?
No.
Nothing. Why? Because, let's go over here. See, I have made the CSS file separately, but how does the HTML file know that I have already created something? Okay. So I have to link this HTML file with the thing. So how do I do that? I have to go inside the head. Okay, after the title or before anything, you can just link this in the head. So how do we link? I have to type link. Okay, link. I have to give the relation. Oops. REL, relation. So what is the relationship between this file and this file? This is a styling file. So I'll just type style. Okay. And this is a style sheet. So I will just type it as style sheet. Okay. And then the folder. So where is my folder? What is the file name? So I have to give a href. Okay. And what is the file name? CSS. Sorry, style.css. Can you see my file name here? Hello?
Yes.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, miss.
Okay. So can you see my file name here?
Yeah, yeah.
So this is how I have to type it over the file name. Whatever is my file name, I have to type CSS. Okay.
Okay.
Now I have linked my file. Now let me save this. Control yes. Now let me go to the screen. Can you see this?
Yes.
When I linked my file, the CSS has already applied.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So this is what we call it as external file linking. So this is an external file. This is not inside the file. This was an external file, and I did the heading H1 design on the CSS. Okay, CSS file. And when I linked those two files, it has come over here. Now let's see, how do I do the universal selector? Suppose here, what did I do? I wanted only for H1. So I have given this. Suppose I want a universal selector where, I have to show something. So what do? I'll delete this file, this one. Universal means entire thing will be selected. Okay. So, so selector will be universal. This means universal. Okay.
Okay.
Understood? Then I will open the flower bracket. And what are the things? Okay. I want a background color. Let's say I will give some, okay, aqua color. I want the text align. Let's say center. Then what else? Okay, that's it. Now let's see what happens. Okay, I'm saving this file. Control S. Let's go here. Can you see this? Hello?
Yes.
Can you see? This means everything got selected. Entire file got selected. So irrespective of whether it's paragraph or everything, see, everything got pushed to the center.
Yeah, yeah.
Understood? So this is what universal selector. When you want to do something which is very common for the entire page, you can use the universal selector. Okay. Now let's see what is the class selector. Okay. So class or ID. No? First one is ID selector. So now let's create a ID selector. So let's go to the CSS.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go over here. Now you want a paragraph. So I have already created a paragraph. Let me create one more paragraph. Okay, so there is something is there in the paragraph. So this is there. So now there are two paragraphs are there in this. So for this paragraph, okay, let me go home. Okay, so for this paragraph, I'm going to give a name. Okay, so how do I give the name? I'll go inside this paragraph. Okay, then give a space ID equal to, this is the ID I'm giving. So let's say para 1. This is my name. Okay, understood? So this is a name I have given for because there are two paragraphs are there. So I want this to be a special paragraph. So I just gave a name for that paragraph. Now let's go to the CSS. Let me delete this. So now I have to call the paragraph. Okay. So what do? I'll use the hashtag para1. Okay. Then use the bracket. Let's say text align. I'll make text align center. Let's say color. We'll change the color also. Color will give, okay, we'll use brown. Okay, now let's see how does it work. I've saved the file, Control S. Okay, that's not, okay, now let's go. Can you see this?
Yeah, yeah.
So only, see, there is two paragraphs are there. This is also one of the paragraph, but it is not changed. Only this has been changed. Understood? So because I give a name for this particular paragraph, and that's the reason only that paragraph is getting changed. Clear? This is what we call it as ID.
Okay.
Okay. Now
Yeah.
let me see. Then what else? Class selector, right? So how do we create a class? So this I'm removing it. Okay, let it be there. I'm creating another paragraph. Okay, there are two paragraphs. Let me go to the home. So for this paragraph, so now I have created a paragraph over here. So what happens? I need to make a class for the paragraph. So what do I do? Whenever you want to make a class, you have to go to the head. Okay. So all the class will be made it in the thing only. So what happened when I make a class, every paragraph will be used for that. See the difference, one of the main difference I forgot to tell you, ID paragraph, ID means it's select a particular thing. But when I give a class, all the paragraph will be corrected. Okay, now for example, let's create a paragraph called, okay, first let's create a style because this is a style. Inside the style, I'm going to create a paragraph. Let's say paragraph dot. When you create a paragraph, it is period. Okay, dot is a word that you letter which you have to use. Let's say paragraph. What name I should do? Okay, I'll just give a name as design. Okay, I'll create the thing. What are the things you want to change for that paragraph? You can give. So, for example, I want font size. Font family, let me make it font family. I'm just making as Arial. Then font size also I'm making it, let's say, okay, large. And then font color, let's make it as red. Okay, and text align center. Okay, so these are the changes I wanted for the paragraph. Now, what do? I have to call this paragraph. Suppose if I call this paragraph, let me, this is a paragraph, sorry, this class, this is called as class, right? Suppose I'm trying to call, see, I made a class for the paragraph, okay? Suppose if I try to call this over here, okay? Let's say, how do I call the class? Means you have to type class, then use the name, that is DISIGN. Understood how I'm doing? Hello? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here, miss.
Why are you so distracted?
Miss, I'm not distracted, miss. I keep answering.
Okay. Okay, listen. See, I created a paragraph class for the paragraph, and I'm trying to use that class on the H1. Let's see whether it works or not. The same class, I'm going to use it for this paragraph also. Okay, I'll create class equal to design, SIGN. The same spelling, whatever you have used, you have to use it. Okay, I'm saving this file. Now, let's see. Sorry, not that. Can you see this?
Yes, miss.
But for the H1, it didn't happen. Can you see?
Why not?
Now, I want you to tell me why H1 it's not happening. I given the, I called the design class on the both the sides. For the H1 also I called. For the first paragraph also I did. But it didn't work. Why?
Why?
For what I made the paragraph, sorry, a class I made for the paragraph. But what I'm trying to do here, for the paragraph design, I'm trying to put it on the H1, which this is head to head. This is not a paragraph, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it will not work. So class means only for that particular item it is going to work. If you make a H1, a class called for the H1, if you make a class, then it will work for all the H1. If you make a class for the paragraph, then it will work for only for the paragraph. Understood? Did you understood the differences between the ID and the class? Hello?
Yes.
Is it clear? ID means you are applying only for a particular item. Okay, you're giving a name for a, suppose you've got 100 paragraph and in one paragraph you want to have something special. So you're going to give a name for that particular paragraph and then doing the design. But class means whatever you're going to create, whatever the item you're going to take, that is paragraph or H1 or images, whatever you're going to, so all the images can be applied, can be used for applying, or all the paragraph can use that particular class. Okay, but no, the paragraph class cannot be used in H1. If you want to make a class for H1, you have to separately make H1 class. Understood? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, now I'm going to stop sharing. Now you are going to do the class ID
Actually,
and universal selector.
Miss, can you explain it all one more time, please?
Which one?
All of them, just one more time.
All of them. Okay, so we have learned about three. Okay, let me. Okay, three types of selectors are there. Selectors are there in the CSS. The first selector we have learned was the universal selector. So when you do the universal selector, you are going to do the styling on the CSS. Okay, you will take the CSS and universal selector will be done on like this. So the asterisk means you are selecting the entire page. Then let's say background color. If you want, you can give background color. So every entire page will be done, selected. Okay, this is what universal selector. Then we have learned about the ID selector. ID selector means suppose you have got 50 paragraph and in that you want to have only one particular paragraph with a special thing. So you will create that particular paragraph. You will give a name for that particular paragraph. That is what we call it as ID. Okay, so that you do the design. See here, we give a name for one of the paragraph as para 1, and I gave a design for that. So that what happened, whatever the design I gave, that is applicable for only for that paragraph. Even though I have many paragraph in my project, I mean in the file, it is applied only for this particular paragraph. Understood? That is what we call it as ID. Okay. Then we have the third type, which is called as class. Class means which can be for all the paragraph. All the class means it's a group of items. When you want to group it something, suppose you want to, like as I said, if you have 50 paragraphs, if you want to group all the paragraph under the class name, then you do it. You create a paragraph, class for the paragraph like this. Okay, and then do the designing, and it will be applied wherever you want. You can just call that design so that you can just apply that.
Okay.
Okay, so is it clear now?
Yes.
Let's see. Don't worry, when you start doing, you will be okay.
This is a lot.
Sorry.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a bit, because this is an important part, because you want to use a lot of paragraphs and so a lot of classes and other things in the project, because we'll not be able to do single designing or inline designing. Okay, you can share your screen.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. What's the name of the lesson?
You can try types CSS selector.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I have made you to do this one CSS file. So I'm going to show you how do we connect this. I've already showed you, but you're also going to connect your file. Okay, start the file.
Whatever.
Doc type.
Okay, miss. Better.
Now create a heading, title.
Okay.
Okay. So now what do? We are going to do the universal selector.
Okay.
Okay, so create some paragraph and something like that inside.
Okay.
You can type it as universal selector. Put a star. No. Don't do lorem. Don't do lorem. You give explanation so that next time when you open, you will be able to give. Put a star asterisk.
What?
Shift and press number 8.
Shift. Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah. Open the bracket and type it inside. This is universal selector.
Mhm.
This is universal selector, which select the entire page. So this universal selector, we can't show it over here. We have to show it in the CSS file only. So that's why coding will be in the CSS file. Okay.
Okay.
If you want, you can write coding will be on the CSS file.
No, it's okay.
Okay, fine. So go to the CSS file. Oh, first, okay, CSS file. Okay, now. So universal selector, how do you start?
But we
It's
have.
a universal selector. Code it. You just did it. Asterisk.
Mostly.
Open the flower bracket.
Okay.
What? Give a background color so that you can know what is. Give some light color so that we can do the other things.
Okay.
Okay. Save the file.
Yeah.
HTML file.
Yeah.
Now we need to link that file because you're already done, but this file does not know that there is a CSS is available. So
Yeah.
in the head, you can open the tab called link. After the title, you can just give link space. No, don't close space. Relation, REL. Pick up from there. What is the relation? Style sheet. Just type in a style sheet. This is all CSS is nothing but a style sheet, right?
Yeah.
Just type in a style sheet. Okay. Then what is the file name? Then href.
Okay.
Space. Give a space after that. Href. Why did you pick up from the bottom? Properly. Href. And give the name of the file.
Okay.
Close the bracket.
Yeah.
No. Inverted comma.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So that is link. Now save your file. Run. Did it open? I can't see because you're not sharing the entire screen.
Great. Okay.
Can you see the universal selector? So entire page is selected with the background. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's again go get inside the code studio. Go to the studio. Now
Okay.
you're going to create two paragraphs separately.
Okay.
Now you can give dummy things. Lorem. Text. Paragraph is empty. Give the text.
Yeah. Lauren. Okay.
One more paragraph.
Okay. Okay.
So now you have two paragraphs. So one of the paragraph you can give a ID. Create an ID for the paragraph.
Sorry, miss.
See, both the paragraphs are looking the same, right?
Yeah.
So you don't want both the paragraphs to look on the same, because if you give the design for the paragraph, both the paragraph will have the same design. So what do? We are going to create one of the paragraph. We are going to give a ID, a name for a
Okay.
paragraph. Which paragraph you want to change? Give a name.
Second one.
Okay, go to the second one. Give a name
How?
inside the P.
Uh,
Give
what
us
do I do?
give a space and type ID. ID.
ID.
Call it from there. What is the name you want for your ID? What ID you want to give? ID means name. What name you want to give?
Anything.
Give anything, whatever you feel like.
Okay.
A small word you can give. What is okay? Fine. Okay, fine. So this is your name.
No. Just two random letters. Okay.
Okay, fine. Okay, so this is the name of the paragraph. Okay, now
Yeah.
we will go to the CSS file.
Okay.
So you need to call that ID. So how do we call the ID? What is the thing to call the ID? Hashtag.
Hashtag. Okay.
So type the hashtag.
Okay.
Open the bracket and give some design for that. The same spelling, right? I think you have used capital T.
Capital. Yeah.
Give some text align, font size something big. Okay. Background color. Okay. Font size, you can make it 20. Text color something. Not font color, just color it is. Okay. Save it, run it. Did you save it? No, you didn't save it. See, it is still showing you. Go to the HTML file. It is not saved. HTML file. Yeah. Save it. Now you run. Look at the thing.
Right. yes.
Can you see? So only
Yes.
that particular paragraph got called. Now we are going to make the class. Again, go to the studio. I want you to write this. Okay, this is ID. You understood, no? This is ID.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're going to make a paragraph, or you have different paragraph, right?
Yeah.
So now you're going to make a class. So whenever you want to make a class, you have to go inside the head. No, not there. Inside the head. Go inside the head.
Where?
Anywhere. After that link also, you can go there.
Okay.
Create a style tag.
Well, right. Yeah.
Press enter. So what is that? So how do you create a style? You should remember what is the syntax to write the create the ID and create ID will be ID equal to something. When you call the ID, it will be hashtag. Okay, that is very, very important. Okay. And similarly, class will be dot. Okay. So when you call that, it's going to be just class. Okay. So just type P dot P for the paragraph. You're going to create a class. P and dot space dot. Space dot. So what is the name you want to give for the class?
Okay.
Okay, open the bracket and whatever designs you want, you can just give it there.
Okay.
You can change the font family.
Any new Times Roman? Okay.
Yeah, it will come big only. Okay,
That's
that's
my
it.
favorite one.
Okay. So now you created a class. Now where do you want to apply this class to? Which paragraph you want to apply the class?
This one.
Okay, so call the class. No, 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 that's not the way. That's what I just told you. How do you can't put the dot again. Dot is for creating.
Oh,
You have to use the word class. Here it is called dot, but when it comes over here, it is called as class. Type class.
okay.
No, delete it. It has to come properly. It's not proper. Delete that word. Type class again. Pull out from there. Now you type the word. Save
Okay.
it and run it. Can you see which
Didn't work.
paragraph you applied that? You just change the color.
No color and font size.
Font size, not font size. Font family you have changed, right?
Probably.
Okay, save it. Which paragraph is that?
This one. Second one.
Class. Is the spelling is correct? Okay. Okay.
No, let's try. Nope.
Why? What happened? Go inside again. What is wrong? I think just delete this error space. Too much of space. I think you give
Where space here?
after the where you made the paragraph. Sorry, not paragraph. There. It's dot p space dot lingam. There should not
Read.
be any space between dot and the class name. No space.
There is no space.
No space. After P, you can give space. No problem.
Yeah, now it works.
Yeah. Can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you understood what is
Yeah.
the difference between all these three?
Yes.
Any doubt?
No doubts.
Okay. So let me see what else. So the next class, we'll be learning more about CSS and how can we insert CSS into our page. So there are different methods. We already know how to insert in the lines and all, but there are certain methods which we need to follow
Yeah.
when we insert the CSS. Okay. So
Okay.
I'll be sending the homework today. That's it. Nothing else. You have just revise. That's it. Okay. So not much. So I think if you want, you can just practice something about your school, make a class
Okay.
and give paragraph or something.
Okay. Will do, miss.
Okay.
Okay.
And any other doubts you have? Anything that you want me to help you?
No, miss.
All clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So today we completed fast, isn't it?
Shall we just end it here, miss?
Sorry?
Shall we just end it here?
Yeah, I think that's it. No, nothing else is there.
Okay. Right. Thank you, miss.
Take care. We'll see you in the next class. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.